Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. It is the show that I accidentally launched yesterday, James, with you. It was just supposed to be West Ham Wednesday for 20 minutes, and we ended up going for an hour and a half. But we're back again for a quick have your say. So the link is in the chat. Hello to all the people in the chat. Click the link. Come on, come and have a chat with me and James. James will debate something about you, that's for sure. But James, you alright?
Yeah, fifth in the league, mate. Good win, but not a good performance last night. I will say that it was an ugly performance, but it was a good win, 3 points, and we roll on to Manchester United on Sunday which our class is the big game now. Now we're getting to the
Yeah,
big games where we need to make sure if we're going to go for European football, this is one of the big ones. So
yeah,
yeah, it's a good win, but not a good performance. What do you think,
yeah.
Jake?
Yeah, we'll come to that in a minute. We'll properly dissect the game. Passport's ready. My passport's ready, don't we? Duke's got his Duke's got to renew his actually. So there you go. Yes, I have got my West Ham mask. I've got two West Ham masks actually ready for school tomorrow. So as I've said here, if you want to come and have a chat, not char, about yesterday's game, feel free using the link there. It's in the chat a couple of times. So come on if you want to have a chat with me and James. Hey people, hi WMP. Charlie, hello. Andy, come on for a chat if you would like an afternoon. Right, so let's start dissecting this, James.
Mm,
Starting lineup, we started that. Good to see Fabianski come back because we did in depthly kind of debate that on the
yeah.
preview. Good to see him to come back in firstly.
Yeah, absolutely. I did think he'd come back in. I didn't think he'd be out for too long. It wasn't a muscle injury. It was just like a cut or like sort of arm injury, basically, which is nothing. Yeah, I was happy to see him. I thought he played really well last night. I must admit, Fabianski pulled off some great saves and kept us in the
Yeah,
game at vital times.
yeah. Andy said, "Oh, missed the game. Only seen the highlights when we were." I thought, "Oh, that's all right, mate." Afternoon, massive result last night. So, and we debated it on here for an hour and a half. James Ben Rama did get the start. Um,
Mm. I
what do you
thought
think?
he was. I thought he was brilliant. I'm not. I'll say this quickly before we have someone on. Right, I thought he played well. I thought him and Lingard, the link up for the penalty was decent. I like
Yeah,
that he was having shots. I feel sorry for Ben Rama a little bit here because he's trying to get that goal. You can see it.
yeah,
He's trying to have shots from outside the box, anywhere, just something to come off someone's head and go at the goal, like so he could claim it. Like he's trying, but the only thing I didn't like yesterday was when he got subbed in the 72nd minute. I thought
yeah.
myself, Antonio was a bit injured. Not injured, but he was very slow and didn't really have a good game, Antonio. And how he played for 90 minutes, I don't know. But I thought Ben Rama done well. I thought he done well. It shows you what he can bring to. He can carry the ball, and yeah, I liked what he done yesterday.
Yeah. Let's what are people saying? Afternoon, Duke. Come on for a chat. Good afternoon. James as well. Peach is here. Peach, click the link. Come on and have a chat, mate. If we can get 20 likes, Jake's doing the washing up. Yeah, whatever. Right. Kent says, bad performance yesterday. Very lucky at times. We was lucky. Leeds never had their finishing boots on. Otherwise, completely different story. But a win's a win. We move on. So let's that first 10 minutes, James. Tell us. Tell the people about that because I mean, we were on the ropes, weren't we?
Awful, absolute awful. Couldn't get out of our own half. Couldn't pass. Couldn't string two passes together. Um, let's be honest here. A kneecap. We are a kneecap away from being 1-0 down, and that is
Yep.
no joke. Like it's like borderline at best. It's offside, but it's offside by the smallest of margins. The goal at the byline, fair enough, it went out, but they was attacking. It was like, as David Moyes said in his interview, it was like we had 3 weeks off, not 9 days off. We was slow. We weren't. I just couldn't understand it. Like this is a big game for us, and we just turned up and was that bad. Then I don't know what happened, but halfway through that match, I thought it was like after 20 minutes, I think Moyes must have changed something because we
Yeah.
got on the ball and basically we stopped Leeds playing straight through our press basically. And once we had done that, then we created chances, and then Lingard and Ben Rama linked up, and got the penalty, and and it all went from there really.
Yeah. So with two decisions, I mean they had the ball in the net twice within 10 minutes. The first one, um, he was I don't know. People it's come out on Twitter to say that the line wasn't straight and the kneecap wasn't offside, onside, whatever. But I mean, the linesman, that was a great spot if it was, because it's definitely not like that changed on VAR.
Mm.
So I mean, from what it looked like, the red line went up and his kneecap was there, so should have been offside. Do you think?
It's offside, mate. If they've classed it as offside, it's offside. But we was lucky. Like we got away with murder there.
Mm.
Obviously, like we've had a lot of decisions going for us this season, a lot of decisions that haven't gone for us. Now, let's all remember back to the Manchester United home game when the ball goes out of play and nearly ends up at Stratford Station, and for some reason no one spots it. So, yeah, last night, if we didn't have scored first, we would have we might have lost that game. Like I think they was
Yeah.
all over us. They look good, Leeds, and if Leeds would have had their shooting boots on last night, they could have easily rolled a couple of goals in quite easily. Do you know what I mean? But it was a good
Yeah.
win.
I think the second one. I mean, for me, there was clear daylight between the line and the ball. I thought that was out, but it was quick, pacey, good finishing, and I thought we could be on for a real good game there. But what did you think of that second goal?
Um, Called it, mate. I told you, Dawson will score. Like, and I did say it. I said corners and set pieces will be key. Obviously, going back to what you're saying about the goal going out for them, it went out, but it was just as soon as we got a foothold in the game, then we looked a completely different team. Like as soon as they
Yeah.
sorted out that, I think I'm not sure if Fornell's dropped back into midfield, has made it as like a 4-3-3 system or 4-4-2 system, but they done something, and it just changed sort of automatically, and we seemed to get out on the ball more, and we was running at Leeds then, and yeah, big Craig Dawson steps up. I called it. I told you. I said one of the defenders will score, and it was him. And he's been great, mate. He's been absolutely great. Like, and I actually said it: 3 million for him, 5.4 million for Cafell. Where are you going to get 8.4 million pounds worth of talent like that? Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just not.
Yeah, completely. Couple more comments. Scott says, if the comment will load up, harshly taken off again. Antonio looks spent. Completely agree. I agree, James. From the highlights, everything was going through Lingard and Ben Rama. It
Yeah.
was pretty much. Robert says, thought Benny did well and thought he should be left on to give him minutes before the Man U game. Creswell's delivery was on point. It was. Nice headphones, there you go. Robert says it's our year for decisions to go our way. Yeah, hopefully. Hope everyone could tune in tonight. Jake's interview with the flying postman John Williams, 7 o'clock tonight. Make sure you tune in for that. Kent Hammer says Antonio did really well for the second goal. Nolan's been teaching him well. Yeah, Craig Dawson 8-1. Right, we've got our first guest waiting in the wings. And it's Tom. Tom, good afternoon.
Hello.
There we go. Craig
I was
Dawson.
waiting. I was waiting for it, Tom. I was waiting for it. I told you he'd score. I told you he wouldn't let you down, and he didn't.
I purposely jinxed Bamford as well. I put him in on purpose to make him blank.
Tom, give us your thoughts on the game overall, and then we'll dissect it properly.
As James said there, it could have been very different if either of those two goals had counted at the start, but they were correctly ruled out, and importantly, were ruled out by the linesman before the TV got involved.
Yeah.
So that's good. But we took our chances in the key moments. And that's something that we've not done. I mean, we've been involved in games for as long as I've been watching West Ham, where you could argue we've been out footballed and outplayed, which at times we were last night, and we haven't taken our chances when they've come. We've now got Cresswell, who can deliver a corner on a penny every single one he takes, and Dawson and Diop and Souček are always a threat.
Yeah.
it's the same as getting a penalty, getting a corner at the moment.
It is, isn't it? And I think sometimes we were like, oh, that was a really good chance, but say, look, we've got a corner, and sometimes that's more of a threat. And James, they didn't look like they wanted to defend our corners, free kicks, set pieces, did they?
I thought they were scared, mate. I thought every time we had a corner, I fancied us to score every time. One thing it did prove last night, us being linked with the Leeds goalkeeper, it's a no for me. He can't come for crosses. He's terrified of coming for crosses. And corners. And yeah, I agree with Tom. The only thing I will say about last night, I don't know whether Tom agrees or not, is that if Leeds would have scored first last night, we might have been in trouble last night, because I just thought that we was all over the place, especially the first 20 minutes, like 10 minutes definitely, and then we sort of got to grips with it after the first 20. And then once we got the goal, the penalty, if we don't score first, then I think we might have been in trouble, because Leeds looked very good and full of pace and everything.
Yeah. Tom, were you worried on the 10th minute because they had the ball in the net twice? Was there a worry in you?
The offside was a weird one, because in real time I thought, well, he's offside, linesman's flagged it, and I'm expecting when they get the replay up for him to be about that far offside. It then goes to VAR, and I immediately thought, well, that's a goal because it's level. And then the lines were Microsoft Paint, mate. I don't understand how they can work that out. I don't get it. The lines are about that thick. Then they're not the margins that they're measuring. It's inaccurate. There's no way that technology is 100% accurate and should be used to decide offside and onside in a Premier League game. It's nonsense. Even when the ball's kicked, there's not enough frames per second on the camera for the ball to be shown when the ball is exactly kicked. There was 2 weeks ago in another game where the ball had already left the guy's foot and the measurement was being taken from there. It's nonsense. But the second one was I don't know if the linesman's had a guess, but that's a great decision to spot that from the goal in the way that's got a goal kick, but it had gone in.
Yeah, so I thought when I looked, they brought the blue lines down first, and I thought, oh, he's onside, and then they brought this dotted red line up, and then it went offside. So I don't know.
Does that look straight to you though? That dotted line?
Nah.
I don't know if it's like my eyes, but it doesn't look straight.
I call it lucky. That's what I call it. That's how I call it. I call it lucky. I don't call it any lines. I call it like he shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. If I'm honest, and we just, I don't know about you, but even afterwards, even Declan Rice said in his interview after, he said we won 2-0, but I'm not happy with the performance at all. Especially the first 10 minutes. Yeah, the second half, to have one shot in the second half, and that was the 89th minute on target. Forget the Fornell's crossbar attempt, wasn't good. But I agree with what you're saying. It was we got away with it last night. Especially I'm just so glad Costa had a good kneecap. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Oh dear. Guys, if you're in the comments, fancy coming on for a chat, the link is further up. I'll post it in a minute. So we move on to the penalty then. James, for you, I mean, nowadays that's going to be a penalty, in it. He stuck his foot out. It was contact. It's a penalty nowadays. Mate,
only us can go and get a Man United player, right? And he wins us 2 penalties. And it's just, you can't make it up, can you? The team that get penalties every week, we go and get one of their players, and he wins us 2 penalties. Blatant penalty, mate. I thought Lingard. I love that in the lad. He drives forward. He wants to. He's driven forward basically, and everyone knows that when someone's running at you, you could put a foot in, and it could go wrong, and it did go wrong, and we got the penalty. Do I think Lingard should have took the penalty? That's a different scenario, because when he stepped up for that penalty, I didn't feel confident he would score it. I really didn't. I thought he was too square on, and he sort of shown where he was actually going with the penalty. I don't know whether you agree on that. What do you think?
I think as soon as I saw him place the ball down, I thought this isn't going to end well. Luckily, it rebounded out, and he was just there because he saw in the celebration he was like that, wasn't he? Because he would have got a mouthful. And it was nice to see Declan Rice's interview after he said, "Oh, the gaffer said that I'm back on pens now."
Yeah, I
Tom,
totally agree.
yeah. Tom, what did you think of it all? But just before Fo's in the chat, hi Fo, come on, the link's in the chat. Reveal yourself, Fo. Reveal yourself.
Cool. No, I agree with that. I was really interested with what Robert Green said in the studio. He said that Meslier knows which way to go before he's even started running up to take the penalty, before he's even struck the ball. Sorry, the way he's running up to that ball, he's not going to have enough power in the shot to put it in the other corner. So he knows he's going that way. And he said that the only reason that the bad strike actually saved Lingard, because if he'd have struck that ball well, it would have gone further in the corner. And Meslier, if you watch it again, dives further than where the ball goes, which means he can only parry it out in front of him.
So if anything,
it was a good bit of analysis.
He goes too early, doesn't he? Meslier, he goes early. If he would have went a bit later, he would have actually saved it and pushed it out.
He's the exact opposite of Peter Shilton.
Fo likes that. Well, come on, all I see is a bottle of Coke. Come on, Fo.
It's not sort of stream, Fo.
So what was your thoughts, James? What was your thoughts at half time?
I actually thought the game weren't over. I really didn't. I wasn't sitting here feeling confident that this game's over. We can all sit back and you know what I mean, and everything's going to be hunky dory. Like to get in half time 2-0, we needed that second goal. And I was sitting in my house with a mate of mine, and I said to him, I said, "What do you reckon?" He said, "I'm telling you now, if we don't get this, if we need to hold them as long as we can." Because if we don't, they score early. And if we all remember, Bamford come out second half, 47th minute, through on goal, and he puts it wide. If that goes in, it's a completely different game. Like, this is West Ham we're talking about. We don't, our nerves would have been up and down. But the longer the game went on, obviously, it's different. But yeah, at half time, I was sitting there, I was thinking, this ain't over at all. They're a good team.
Yeah. Tom, what were you thinking? Because I thought we were lucky from that. On the 30-minute mark, I thought we're going to be lucky to go in 1-0 leaders going in half time. What did you think at half time?
I thought that the two disallowed goals were a bit of a shot in the arm for us. We played really well after those two disallowed goals. But Leeds, they've only had 2 shots on target in the game. I know Bamford's missed a sitter, which was off target. It should have been on target at the very least. But I do think, despite all of the possession that they had, we defended really well. There was one outstanding save from Fabianski. But the third, if Dawson's second one that hits the post goes in, I think you'd have had a very different second half. I think it would have been a lot more comfortable than it was. And it's just on little moments like that, isn't it? If we hadn't got the second, we might have gone on to lose the game. Who knows? But this is what this team has done well this year. They've done the right things in the right moments, and that's why we are where we are.
Yeah. Just before we move on to the second half, let's take some comments. So W&P says, I can't decide if we were lucky or changed gear when we needed to. If it was a top 6 club, pundits would say they changed gear and got the win. Don't know. I think it's a sign of a good side. We got 3 points, and I feel we did need these 3 points. We're now sitting 2 points behind Chelsea with a game in hand. That game in hand is against Man United, but we can get something going up there on Sunday. James, what do you think of that comment? I
agree. Would I say that we? I'd rather us play bad and win rather than play well and lose. Like that's the main thing. But we can't do that against any of the big boys. Especially we can't do that next week against Man United, because we do that against Man United, we'll be 4-0 down. Like we've got to come out. It's a good one to get away with. Let's put it like that. I'm glad we got away with it. I've seen things today. People saying, well, to me, basically saying, well, yeah, but did we get away with it though, James? I'm like, well, if we look at if we analyse the game in a whole, for 35 minutes in the first half, we was decent. The second half, we done nothing. We had one shot on target, and that was the 89th minute. In the first 10 minutes of the game, we was awful. So you got to sort of weigh it up. But yeah, I thought I'm happy like that we got the win playing badly. And Declan Rice even said it after. We scored 2 goals, but it was a poor performance. And I'm glad that they've seen that now, so they can rectify it before the Man United game.
Yeah. Just a bit off topic. This has been announced in the last couple of minutes. An open letter to the fans from Mark Noble, and it does say up there that the 2021-22 season will be my 18th and final one as a first team player for West Ham United. My connection and love for West Ham United will be forever. Just a bit off topic there. So he's got one more season.
It's going to be emotional, mate.
Yeah,
it's going to be emotional.
Important there that he says as a first team player, which suggests that he's going to go on to another role after. If it just said his final season, you'd be wondering what he was doing. But when he specifies as a first team player, it looks like there's going to be another role for him, which Nolan's doing the business, isn't he? And Pearce is doing the business. Nolan will definitely have something to offer.
Oh yeah. Adam says slow start, didn't wake up for 15 minutes. Can't give Man United that many chances or we will get a drumming. Hope they play like they did against Man City. We have a chance to win. Maybe. Agree. I thought Creswell's back foot was playing him on. That's what I thought. Is trading foot for the offside goal. Russ has just said Nobes announced officially last year will be next year. Right, what else are people saying here? I love how quickly we get the ball up the pitch with Fornals and Rice, releasing our dribblers in Lingard, Antonio, Benrahma and Bowen. It's great to watch. Tom, I think definitely we saw that when we did go, we were quick. Rice drove and then just passed it on to the creative players.
Benrahma gets you on the attack with, like a striker turns with back to goal. He has back to sort of midfield, doesn't he? He had, I can't remember if it was Phillips right on his back. He got a ball into feet, turned him, and out of nowhere he was 5 yards clear of him. He turns defence into attack so quickly, and that's why I think we were saying yesterday it was so important he played last night. He was excellent. He had another fantastic game. I know he didn't get his goal, but he contributed so much in terms of keeping the pressure on him, what he did with the ball. And also, we were talking yesterday about people favour Bowen because of his work rate going backwards. Benrahma turned over the ball 8 times last night, so he did that job as well last night.
If you was rating him, Tom, out of 10 for his performance last night, what would you rate him? What would be your personal rating for Benrahma?
I'd give him a high 7, 8. That is, and the thing is that I actually looked at the BBC ratings earlier, and they had Fabianski as man of the match at 9.5, which I didn't quite understand. But the thing is, it's so easy for people to criticise attacking players when they don't score. But so much of our good work last night was through him linking the defence to the forwards. He did such a good job, and it's the same with what the criticism that comes outside the club of Rice, because he doesn't get 10, 15 goals a season. He's no good, and people don't see the aspect of that side of the game. I think it's similar, but he had a great game. I don't know what you thought about. I was thinking of you when it was him that got subbed off. I missed the very start of this because I had a lesson. But what did you think?
I'll quickly say this, and I'll let Jake read the comments. I was absolutely fuming on the 72nd minute when he got subbed off. I didn't understand it myself. When Antonio's running around, Antonio looked knackered at the 55th minute, and for him to be still on the pitch for the whole match, I just could not work that out at all. And I actually thought Benrahma played well. I agree with Tom totally. 7, high 7. early 8 for me rating. I thought he linked up well Lingard for the goal, for the penalty. Sorry, he had a shot on target that went out for a corner that resulted in Dawson getting the goal. So, like I just, it's like, do you know what I mean? I'd like to see him play more. Obviously, 90 minutes, but 72 now. That's all right. He's going to do every minute of every game, I think. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I think the only positive you can take from that is that maybe assures him of a starting spot for United. I thought the idea behind the change was right, but it was the wrong player. I think it was right to bring Bowen on, but he should have took Antonio off. We were talking all through yesterday about that Antonio's not fit, and he's still not fit. So the only thing I can think is that they wanted him as an outlet ball for break, but you don't actually need a goal hanging forward for that. We've got so much pace in Bowen, Benrahma, Lingard. It shouldn't all fall on Antonio, who's unfit, who's still there in the 90th minute. It was the right change, but the wrong. It was the right change, but the wrong change, if that makes sense.
Yeah. James, you unintentionally brought me into the next part of the show. We're going to do quick fire ratings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the player, and I just want a number. So quick fire. But I'm just going to let you think about that whilst we go through a couple comments. Jazza says, I love how quickly we get the ball. Oh yeah, we did that one, didn't we? Stell says, one of the races against Leeds, but a win's a win. There you go. Winning's what I do. We'll smash manure on Sunday to make up for it. God, look at Stell firing the shots. Appropriate to allow the fans to bid farewell to Noble one more season is the right thing to do. Mark Noble coach pending completely. Thoughts that Diop thought that Diop carried the ball out of defence a number of times. I could play Rice out of his role. Yeah, he did bomb forward a couple of times, which was quite funny to see. Right, quick fire rating. So I'm going to go for. Actually, I haven't wrote this down, so I'm going to do this off the top of my head. Who played?
I know anyway. So go on, mate.
Yeah, right. Fabianski. James.
I'll give him a high 8. I thought he'd done brilliant.
Yeah. Sufal.
Clean sheet. Didn't really see much of him really. He kept players quiet. I'll say a 7.
Yeah. People are putting him in the chat. Nice to see. Diop.
I'll say a 7 again. Clean sheet. They've done all right.
Yeah.
Pulled out of the defence. Nothing to really shout on about.
Yeah. For me, the man of the match, Craig Dawson.
10 out of 10. Excellent defending. Great goal. Got stuck in. Clearance off the line. What more do you want? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Creswell.
8. Assist for the second goal. Done all right. He's getting better. Like Cresswell gets a lot of stick, and as we all know, but like he seems to be reborn under Moyes this time. So yeah, 8 for me.
I think that's for Dawson. 11. Robert says. Moving to the midfield. Let's go. Rice and Souček. Quick fire. Go.
I say 8 and 8. They were both decent. They both got stuck in.
Benrahma.
I like Benrahma, so I'm going to say 8 for him.
Fornals.
Floated about. I'm going to say a 7 for him. But
7.
Unlucky with his shot. Unlucky with his crossbar effort. Yeah, 7.
What an effort that was.
Lingard.
Apart from the goal, he was pretty quiet, really, Lingard. So I'll probably say a 7. He weren't. Even they all said after the whole of the attacking threat was not great. So I'll say a 7 for me personally.
Antonio.
I thought it was awful, mate. 4. I thought he done. I didn't, and that's not really being harsh. But what did he actually do? Really, he looked knackered on the 55th minute. So yeah, 4 for me.
Yeah. Tom, I'm going to let you go in a minute. Just give us your quick fire rating. So Fabianski.
I'd agree with all of what James said, to be honest. I'd have
There you
rated
go then.
Diop slightly higher. I remember late on in the game watching it, praising interceptions that he made. So I'd rate him slightly higher, Diop, maybe an 8. Fornals as well did a lot of under the radar good stuff. To him slightly higher, and Antonio, yeah, I mean he wasn't in the game.
No. Yeah.
It's different. It seems harsh saying a 4, but I think if you're going to start a match rating, you'd normally always start off at a 6 or a 5. I don't think he was bad enough to drop. If you were going to start off at a 6 at the start of a game, everybody's on 6, and then you see what it is at the end. I don't think he was bad enough to drop 2 marks, but maybe a 5 or a 6 for Antonio. But interesting, we're all here saying that we weren't at the races last night. Look at all those ratings. The average is 7.5, 8. We're not at the races with 8s and 7s across the board.
Yeah.
We're
So
on easy shape.
Fab's got Stell's gone Fab 6, Kufal 6, Dawson 9, Diop 8, Creswell 8, Suchek 7, Rice 7, Benrahma 8, Lingard 6, Fornal 7, Antonio 5. Tom, thank you very much for coming on to discuss last night's game.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me.
You.
All the best.
Thank
See you
you.
later, everybody.
Take care, man.
Right, we've got 2 guests waiting. Just over 10 minutes left of the show. You ready?
Yeah, ready where you are, man.
We've got Duke and West Ham online. Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Afternoon.
Yeah, not too bad. Duke, I'll start with you. Just a very brief. Somebody just popped in the back room. We'll get him on in a minute. Duke, very brief thoughts of the game.
I personally think we were on the back foot for probably the best part of an hour, if not a little bit more. James and I had a little backwards and forwards on Twitter last night. You know, it wasn't exactly great how we played, but we still got the win. You know, we've won ugly. We've learned how to win ugly. Leeds came out. We expected that frenetic kind of first 10, 15 minutes that Leeds gave us. They give that to everyone when they play. It's just how you hold yourself and how you counter against that. After that, personally, I thought, the second, the last half hour of the first half was ours. Second half, again, very much the same sort of thing. First 15 minutes was frenetic. I think we held our own, kind of grew into the game more, despite the fact, we kind of gave Leeds the possession after that. It's not like I wasn't worried they were going to do much with it, if I'm honest. I think we had the we had the game. I know what James was saying earlier at half time. I said it to Gatesy as well. The next goal was going to be important if there was one. If Leeds got it, that last 15, 20 minutes was going to be, hell on toast for us. Nerves were going to be all over the place. If we got it, game over. At 2-0, I wasn't overly comfortable. I was comfortable enough to be, knowing that we were going to be okay.
Yeah. And West Ham online?
I thought the first 15 minutes was a disaster. Thankfully, we didn't end up conceding any goals. I think the first goal really should have counted. In my opinion, it wasn't offside. I don't even think his knee was offside. But if people are going to say, oh, it's ridiculous, VAR and all that, if VAR wasn't there, it wouldn't have counted either because the liner flagged it for offside. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it was onside. But moving on from that, the second one, I thought it was clearly out of play, and we can't argue with that. I thought from I'd say the 18th minute till the end of the first half, we played quite well. I thought Benrahma and Lingard linked up really well in getting the penalty. And obviously the penalty was shocking, but he got the rebound. I can't even say it was good instincts, but at least we scored. And as I think it was James who alluded to the fact it wasn't Lingard's best game, yet he still popped up with another big moment in getting fouled for the penalty in the build-up play for that and obviously scoring from it. So he's just one of them players who just seems to do something no matter what, whether that be with goals or assists or with his off-the-ball work. I thought the second goal was an unbelievable cross from Creswell, and all night I thought his crossing was phenomenal. And it's an area that Moyes clearly highlighted as one of the Leeds' weaknesses, and we punished them from that. I thought we could have scored 3 or 4 corners, to be honest. We hit the post with one, obviously, as well. Second half, I thought we were poor. But in a sense, it doesn't really matter because I think Moyes knew we just needed to stand off, drag the game out, and we were going to win that match. You know, with Moyes, it's not always about playing pretty, it's about winning. And that second half, he just knew that we just needed to stay in the game. And they had a few chances, but thankfully, I think Fabianski was in form and Patrick Bamford, my God. He's like a balloon with his finishing. It was shocking.
He was.
You know, it was like someone playing MW3 with a broken controller. But yeah, he didn't have a good game, but it was a great to see us win and on to United without Lingard. But let's hope we can get a result.
Yeah, he can't stay away, can he? Hello.
There's only one Jesse Lingard. There's only one Jesse Lingard. There's only one Jesse Lingard. But he can't take penalties for me, dog. No. No.
Peach, give us your review of the game.
Yo, Brad. Yo, what's up, Juke? How are you doing, my friend?
Afternoon,
You
Scott.
James,
good.
you good? James, you good? Jake, always good. I felt the same way. I felt the same way as you, Jake. When Lingard stepped up to take that, I thought, this ain't going in. I really did. And like how James said, he telegraphed that, man. He telegraphed that. And it was lucky that it went where it did so he could get the rebound off of that night.
Yeah. What do you think of the first 10 minutes, Peach?
That was a goal. That was a goal, man. They scored a goal, man. I don't think that was offside, man.
Yeah. And the second one, it was clearly out. That second one, wasn't it?
Oh no doubt. But yeah, no, that was the first one they were unlucky. But we've been in those situations where we've been unlucky before. So karma, excuse my French, but karma's a bitch. Straight up.
Oh dear. Duke, I mean, who was your man of the match out there? Because who is it? Go on, fire away.
I can't disagree with what you said about Dawson. I mean, I was flicking through social media earlier, and there was a comment that someone mentioned that he's a world-class defender for us. And you know what? 2, 3, 4 years ago, people would have been clamouring for him in the form that he's in right now, without a doubt. I mean, I don't see us, being on the receiving end of too many, or Watford, sorry, being on the receiving end of too many bids for him at the end of the season, because he's not your classy kind of defender. He's not your big name. You look at your likes of Van Dijk and those types of players. He doesn't quite fit that mould, but everything he does, he deserves, especially in the, since he's came in and since that was it Stockport in the cup, wasn't it? When he was at Doncaster when he first came in and played that first game. He's done everything that puts him on par and deserving to be spoken of in the same breath as the likes of Van Dijk and those bigger name centre backs. So he was outstanding last night. There's no two ways about it. Ron Seal does exactly what it says on the tin. You put him in there to be a centre back, and no nonsense. Rattle a player if he has to, but he'll go out and win the ball. And then it causes problems from set pieces and corners. And trust me, you can't ask more than what he's already doing for us. Really can't. He's brilliant.
Yeah. West Ham Online, that was a bullet header, wasn't it, for the second goal? Fantastic header.
Magic!
Yeah, it was a brilliant header. One thing I quickly wanted to highlight is what a brilliant goal, first of all. And you can see why David Moyes wanted Shane Duffy, first of all, because I think what Craig Dawson is as Duke alluded to, he's not brilliant on the ball. He's not your typical Van Dijk. He's not your typical old fancy centre half trying to flick it over people's heads, looking like a maniac. He's just a brilliant defender, and I think that's why David Moyes wanted Shane Duffy in the first place. He wanted someone who no nonsense, boot people in the head people, head balls into the box, head balls out the box. He just wanted a proper James Collins, defend for your life player. And every player who David Moyes has in his current team plays for the badge and not for the name on the back. So it's brilliant to see you with Craig Dawson. I mean, excellent goal. Needs improvement on the celebration, but I think we'll let him for that.
I tell you what. In any other ground in England, pretty much, he would have went straight into the advertising board there, but not at the London Stadium. He was about 6 miles past. he was 6 miles before the advertising board. But Peach, do you think when Lingard went down, did you think that was a penalty?
Yeah. Well, yeah and no. Like, yeah and no. I did, but I didn't. Like, at first I didn't. And then my father was like, no, that's a penalty all day long. Like, there was contact. So I was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, James.
What's everyone's opinion on? I just want to ask everyone's quick opinion on Ben Rama last night. Give him a rating out of 10 if you can.
Brilliant.
And what do you think the reasoning was behind him being subbed after the 72nd minute?
Yeah. So 3 minutes left of the show. Duke, I'll come to you first. Go.
I give him a high 8, James. I thought he was exceptional last night. I think everything he did was for the benefit of the team. He wasn't going out there. Yeah, he had a few pot shots where you could see he wanted to score. Wasn't getting hold of them properly. Much like you, really annoyed that he was given the hook when he was given. When you look at when he comes on, he's only given the last 5-10 minutes of the game. So why is he not being kind of reciprocated, given 85 minutes of the game to play? If not, leave him on there for the entire bloody thing. Antonio was blowing out of his backside last night at the end of the game. He was done. He was spent. So honestly, no, I thought Ben Rama was superb last night. I absolutely love watching him play. Love watching him beat players. And we got all of that last night. The only thing we were missing was his goal.
Yeah. West Ham Online.
He's the best player, the best attacking player I've seen at West Ham that can't score a goal, if that makes sense. Hopefully his
that
goal
makes all the sense in the world, man.
Yeah, hopefully his goal will come soon. I'd give him a 7.5. I don't think he was quite an 8 because he didn't get a goal contribution, but I thought his build-up play was excellent. He shouldn't have been subbed off. Was I too annoyed that he was subbed off? No. But yeah, he should have stayed on the pitch. Some of his turns and his link up with Lingard was incredible, to be honest.
Right, this is gonna for the last minute of the show. This is gonna really boil some blood. Stell says, James, was I correct in suggesting that maybe Antonio should have not started or been subbed?
You was wrong.
I agreed with you, Stell. Don't worry about that, mate. But are you still gutted that Boleyn was sitting on the bench and Ben Rama was playing, baby? That's what I'm saying.
No. Antonio should have started.
No, listen, I agree. Listen, at the end of the day, Stell's right on what he's saying. I'll be honest with you, Antonio weren't his best. Like, let's be honest. Like, as we're all sitting in now, that was arguably one of his poorest performances last night. I thought he looked knackered at 55 minutes, and Harry was on the pitch till 90.
Yeah.
Nah, not for me, mate. I'm sorry, but like his hold-up play was poor. He was running into places where he didn't have to be, and you could have put Bo in there, and he would have done the same thing. So that's not for me.
And Ben Rama was doing the opposite. He was getting out of tight spaces, and then it was Moyes that was saying that he took him off because he wasn't giving that final ball in, like, and that's what he's working on him with.
Yeah. Right. We're gonna wrap this up. But just before we do, question for the panel: who is tougher, Souček or the post?
Souček.
Potato salad.
Oh, there we go. Right. Peach, I'm gonna come to you for your final thoughts. I'm gonna give you 20 seconds. Go.
20 seconds. Okay. My 20 seconds is We didn't play that well last night, but we played well enough to win. And that seems like it's summing up our season. We're not playing the best football, but we're grinding out results. When under Pellegrini or other managers, we played attractive football, but we couldn't grind it out. Like, we'd lose in the last, 10, 15, 20 minutes. So I'm a happy hammer, dog.
Yeah. Sorry guys in the comments, I haven't gone through all of your comments because I've got to go and have a COVID test. But guys, thank you very much for coming on. James, thank you very much for being a co-host again. Duke, Peach, West Ham Online, Tom came on earlier. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. How many likes are we on? Oh, I've gone up. I'm ready to watch
Come
Gio's
on,
video.
you Iron!
Oh, thank God. Gio's video was on my laptop. We are up to 23 likes. Hit the like button, subscribe. Come on, you guys.
Come on, you Iron! Big up, man, like postseason.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Take care, man.
Cheers.